Allah, in the name of Him, the most beneficent, Almighty God, Almighty Allah, the most merciful. My name is Gabriel Morton. My Iranian name is Ali Reza Jafarpur, and this is program number 37. And in the continuing of the first chapter of my book, that for the first time, maybe in history, I want to first present in YouTube. I appreciate all of the broadcasters. I am looking for a sponsor and publisher. Let us to continue the text of the book. In the previous session, I talked and I read to this point that my parent recommend me, if I want to go to heaven and live inside the beautiful garden made by Allah, and this garden is full of food and full of beautiful girls. I have to pray every day and 5 times a day. My parents, they were very religious, and they are. My father also every night went to mosque to praying God and had very good relationship with mullah and sheikh. And he was very religious and always obey Sharia, or the rules, religious rules or regulations in Islam is Sharia. And also, my father recommended me to follow him and come with him every night and every Friday for praying God and worship God behind mullah and ask our religious questions from mullah. My father was very angry and hysteric man, and he always yelling at everybody. He always was very angry and yelled everybody. For example, when he wanted me, he yelled. He saw some failure inside house, yelled at my mother always, and at work and outside in the society. Every little excuse and every little problem made my father be very angry and yell at people and make trouble for us and for family. Every day he went to court because of the meaningless troubles that he made between neighbors and inside society. Anybody know my father as yelling angry man. So that was obvious for my father. Going to the mosque and praying to God is not enough for him. This hysteric behavior of my father always made trouble for him. And someday one of our friends recommended my father to visit an Indian yoga master. Me and my father went to visit yoga master that was for few months in Iran and wanted to teach yoga for Iranians. After 20 meetings, my father was not anymore angry because of practicing yoga. Give me a few seconds, please. He was very calm and cold, and his behavior during few months changed so much deeply. He was always laughing and speak with people, very good relationship with everybody. And inside family, he was more kind and more friendly. And step by step, this bad habit of angeriness left by my father forever. Then my father, after long time thinking and meditation, understood that Islam is not enough religion, and he found his drug, his calming way, something that make himself perfect. He found this inside India, so he traveled there to meet high level masters of the yoga and Hinduism. Those months and those years, our bookshelf inside our house that was full of books, that we had totally, me and my father, about 1000 books. But my father went and bought a collection of the mystical books about Hinduism, philosophy and practices, Buddhism, Zen, and many other Eastern mysticism and Eastern religions. And that was great opportunity for me for the first time when I was about 12 or 13 years old to be familiar with Eastern philosophy and Eastern religions. Now I want to continue the text that I written 3 years ago. My father always suffered from nightmares, and that was because of the his memory as and the happenings that occurred for him at younghood. My father was bitten by a scorpion when he was very young, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and always this nightmare of beating by some animal, especially a scorpion, always every night my father wake up very quickly and yelled without any reason, just because of the nightmare. He was very afraid and horrified and yelled, and he was nervous and hysteric, so he couldn't sleep well. And so when he went to the work, he was angry because of the lack of good sleep. These problems originated from his childhood memories when he was bitten by a scorpion when he was about 4 or 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 years old. So he used to be awake by nightmare, be awakened by nightmares every night, and yell at our family. Even after that 40 years is passed, my father um, couldn't solve this problem of the nightmares. Finally, somebody recommend my father go to visit the master of the yoga, and my father accepted, and we went together to the classrooms, yoga classrooms, And my father, after a while, uh, uh, he was free from these problems, mental problems and physical problems. So after that, he bought a lot of Hinduist books. He never hated non-Muslims. That was before this. He hated all of the non-Muslims because all of the mullahs and sheikh and Islamic teachers always recommend him. All of the other non-Muslims, other human beings, they are dirty, they are najas or dirty, they are not clean. So you must be hate. You must hate them, and you must be far and take your distance, keep your safe distance from non-Muslims. This bad viewpoint, that was because of the teachings by mullahs, and you see nowadays even in Iran, all of the mullah and sheikhs and Islamic teachers recommend people that all of the human beings, included 8 billion people who live in other countries and obey or follow other religions, they are not killing, and they will go to the hell, and only Shiite people will go to the heaven. And for you, that is the best idea to kill other non-Muslims, and that is the order of the God. This is the radical Islamist, like ISIS and other Islamic radical groups. They recommend to their followers to do the same with the not only non-Muslims, but also anybody who don't want or doesn't want to obey the Islamic rules based on their own interpretation of Islam and Quran. So if you see a lot of branches, especially inside Islamic Muslim societies, that is because of these radical teachers, radical religion teachers. That was a great opportunity for me. After that, my father changed month by month. He bought the religious books from every other religions. That was a good opportunity for me. So during 3 or 4 years, I changed my religion from Islam to Hinduism, from Hinduism to Buddhism, from Buddhism to shamanism. Then, after reading science books, I changed to agnostic, then to atheism, agnosticism, then atheism, then Christianity, and now, because of some spiritual experience, now I am monotheist. Monotheist is not is more than Muslim and more than religious Muslim. That is the top highest level for human being about being close to the God. So now I am monotheist. In this book, I don't want to prove anything. In this book, I don't want to prove anything. I want to repeat because it is very important. In this book, I don't want to prove anything. I just want to say, if you believe in God, if you accept that there is some God, that is better for you to know Him and His attributions, and that is very, very important also for God. Anybody who claims that he is obedient for God and follower of God know what is really God and what is the real attribution for God, and um, don't believe to something that is humiliating for God, because We say for example, we say in Quran and in Islamic famous sentences, Allahu Akbar. That means the God is greater, the God is greatest, the God is greater than what? God is greater than any great, and greater than your imagination, your thinking. So God is greater than brain, than your brain. So God is greater than whatever you think about Him. So in this book, I show you to have religious experience for yourself. You can come to meet Almighty Allah, and that is just for yourself. And you can't prove your experiences, your spiritual experiences, or your religious experiences. You can't describe for others and prove for them that you are true. So your religious experience is real, just for you. Your religious experience, after practice the last chapter of this book, you will have for yourself real religious experiences. But these real religious, holy, spiritual experiences, that is just real for you, and just for you, not for other people. So I just want to say why, and that is because there is no scientific methods. There is no scientific method to prove your religious experiences for other people. Maybe sometimes, if we achieve uh, by science to some high levels, that we create or innovate new devices, sometimes you and your brain, we will be able to connect your brain